beginning of January, but mostly December during the Yuletide. River State was bubbling. And it wasn't the usual Port Harcourt is where it's happening. Yeah, there were events in Port Harcourt, but I don't think they were as much as what we had happening in the communities. I don't know if the local government chairman had some kind of meeting. Perhaps they had a meeting and everybody decided, Yuletide, we will all make sure that we do something in our different local government areas because we had a lot happening. Oh, Andoni had, I think I heard they set a stage on that was happening, and the King Dajo of Opobo even had his own, I think, is it a worship or something? It was really beautiful. Boat marathon, that's what they call it. There was the bicycle festival, Elibrada, that happened there. There was a beach party somewhere. Okrika also had the events happening there. So I should just say that the communities in River State, the local government areas in River State, 23 of them, were agog with this. You had something beautiful. First of all, if you are from River State or if you maybe traveled to attend any of these festivals, I would like you to tell me what your experience was in the course of this conversation, because we'll be talking about this till about 2 p.m. All right. So this is what I'm looking at. This is what I want us to talk about. With what we saw happen during the Yuletide, do you think this is something the incoming government, because the government on ground is, close to moving out. Is this something the next government should embrace? And this is what I'm talking about. Standardizing these festivities in the different local government areas, where we can start moving from one local government area to another, to hold the carnivals in the different local government areas. Maybe the carnival. Perhaps we should, if we could say, okay, we're going to have Canary, and then Canary, we're going to Andoni on day one. And people physically, literally go to Andoni. Not that people from Andoni carry their troop and come over down to Port Harcourt to portray their culture in Port Harcourt. No, we're saying we have people assemble in Andoni and have Andoni people show us what they got. And then day 2 of the carnival, we're going to, where now? Okrika. And everyone moves to Okrika to go and witness and experience the culture. So this is more like, this is not like we're bringing the culture alive in the city. No, this is, you are seeing the culture in the environment where this particular culture started, where it is really the culture of the people. It's not a select few who come to portray their culture. So you can have people travel to this place on this particular day and have the Okrika people host that day. Maybe 1 day or 2 days, I don't know. I'm just trying to paint a picture here so you understand what I'm asking. And then they take care of everything. But it's not going to be individuals sponsoring this time around. The government, definitely. And then on day 4, day 3, day whatever, we're moving to another local government area. We have 23 of them. So if maybe we have this happen for 23 days, I think that would be a lot, right? 23 days in a stretch. That would be a lot. So maybe we could have it from September. Yeah, we'll say the River State Carnival starts in September. And we're visiting the 23 local government areas of River State. from September to December or to January. So from that month of September, we're picking a day to go to a particular local government. We do it until we have the grand finale that would now be held in maybe Port Harcourt. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think? I would like to hear from you. And also, just to also let you know, we have a tourism ministry in this state. And of course, it's headed by Mr. Yibo Koko. And I had a conversation with him recently, and he was talking to me about plans that they have to ensure that the local government areas come alive, yeah? That people, the world gets to see the cultures in image making or creating a good image of Nigeria. So now let's narrow it down to River State. I think if we talk about talking about the AGR of this, over time people have talked about how everybody has so depended on the oil. How we get tourism ministry to start creating something. Now, this is not just, something that should be left for them. This is something that the local government cancels with the state government. And of course, the works, everything that has to do with planning an event, right? The people that get to sponsor and all whatnot to be a part of it, so that we can boost the economy of River State and maybe change the narrative also, the picture people have of this state, the stories we get to hear. I know some people that once they hear River State, the next thing they'll ask you is, are they still kidnapping people there? Yeah, there are people that's all they know about this state, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you actually start consciously changing the narrative, not just by talking. So let's talk. Remember, you're sharing with me also if you travel to any of these communities where all right, about how the government, what happened, the fortunes of the state. All right, 00123. WhatsApp to 00616. Right, we're live on Facebook, so don't forget there. Hello. Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Progress Obana, the radio counselor.
All right, you're welcome. Go on.
Thank you. Let me first say that that is fairly rapid. We have a story site that enjoy your located. So if the economy can be brought back and then fashioned in a way that the state government will not spend humongous amounts without getting much. Because what I see there is a jamboree where the area boys, make money, and then the government spend much, but did not really get much. Okay, that's apart. I think that the local government also just as their perspective to put their income to make them to the story side. Yes. When you put well organized, there will be access fee. You go in, especially for people from far. You pay a little amount, and then you go in and enjoy yourself. If it is done like that, there will be income. The process will generate income that will be used for another year. It's not just chop it all, eat it all, area boys chop it all. No, it's not like that. So what is happening around is it's a job for the boys. They just like the but let us see it as a way to promote our boys and at the same time ensure that money comes in. That's the paramount thing. And then get the culture and show the world that River State is safe. I think if we do all this, it will be very, very good for us. The radio counselor.
Hello.
and there are different cultural display. But there is one cultural display that engulfs the whole compounds within Buguma, which is the Eknesekapo Warusu, which was suddenly being postponed. Brings a lot of people together. Even people from Bayelsa will troop into Buguma because of that cultural display by the Kalabari Eknesekapo. Suddenly it was put off. I don't know whether it's for security reason or the other. But one thing that is so sure, I think the cultural display is very necessary for bringing out our cultural heritage, and also to bring people from different places together to unify local governments and communities. And we shouldn't shy away. I think the former administration was on board. There is what they normally do within this festive season. They bring all the local governments together, and they go around until the last day to say that even the governor himself will also partake. And that brings people from far and near. People come into River City when there is that issue, when that display is going on. You see that even people from other countries is trying to flow into River City, and it also enhance our economic value. So I think for me it's very, very necessary for we to look at this cultural heritage side by side, because we have the museum, which we are not also taking cognizance anymore. Now, if you go to our museum, the place looks very scanty. And if the government should also revisit those areas, it will be a little bit creative to our teeming youth that are coming up. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, my sincere apologies. You will have to call me back, please. Apologies for that. So I have commercials coming up, and of course afterwards I'll take your calls. What are you saying? I'll take your calls and of course read your messages. We're discussing community calls, and we're asking, should government recognize them and standardize them? I'll be right back. Just stay tuned.
It's a new dawn for Nigeria. Oh, better days are.
All right, welcome back now. So when you get to Opobo, they have their boats regatta that they hold, right? About 67 war canoe houses. Beautiful stuff to watch. And with something like that, so I was just thinking, right? You know, a colleague of mine was talking to me about this, and he was like, if we could have the Canny Riv done differently, rather than what we had, where, you know, people had to converge in Port Harcourt and come showcase their cultures, which was beautiful, right? How about we go to the custodians of these cultures? Let's go to them. Yeah, there are probably people who might say that they already have their crowd. They already recognized. Everybody really knows that what they're doing, about what they're doing. They've been doing it for years. It's government, right? Is this something you think the next government should take on? Make better plans. I said earlier, we could have the Caniriv start September because we'll be visiting 23 local government areas. And so that people don't get tired of moving from one place to another, let's not just do it in December and that's it. So we could actually have a river state bubbling from September. Have the entire world, have everybody in Nigeria, everybody across Africa thinking about river states from September. People can start planning. Okay, if I can't be there for September, they could have a timetable and they're looking at the schedule of events. Where are they going to in September? What's happening in September? How many local government areas are they visiting in September? Or how many communities are they visiting in September? What is the culture like there? What's the food? What are the people like? What is happening there? Okay, maybe I can't do September because I'll be busy. I'll do October. But the idea is that we are getting people to come over here and spend their money. And we're not talking for them to come and spend money and be kidnapped. No, we're not talking about spending money on ransom payment. We're talking about spending money on food, spending money on investing in what is happening here. We're talking business. We're talking tourism. So when we're talking about creating or adding to the IGR, increasing the IGR, most times we're looking at the oil, and sometimes when we talk about diversifying, we're looking to the entrepreneurs. We're looking at the small, medium enterprises, and we talk about how we have a lot of these businesses in Port Harcourt or maybe in Rivers State as a whole. But how about the festivals? Can we go beyond the December? It's not a fever, but the December jamboree. Can we go beyond some individuals? I remember when I was speaking with Yibo Koko, he said something about people holding some of these events in some of the communities just for fun. Someone can just decide, I've got some money, I've got some